welcome to StoryHive On Location, Calgary. I'm your host, Nicolas, and I'm thrilled to bring you a new episode produced with the support of TELUS STORYHIVE. Stay tuned, because I can't wait to show you what comes next here in the beautiful city of Calgary. Today, I am joined by Rylee.
Hi.
Rylee is an artist, a painter here based in the city of Calgary. If you weren't a painter right now, what do you think you'd be doing?
I'm not sure. Like I do construction part-time. So I have a waterproofing company, but that's seasonal. So I can only do that in the summertime. Before art, I did insurance. So kind of the polar opposite of what I do now a little bit. And then through that, I realized this is kind of the only direction that I want to go. So yeah, I'm kind of putting my all into the art.
That's been quite a change for sure.
Yeah,
going from insurance to now working on art, working on painting.
Yeah.
What made you take that leap?
Well, during COVID, the insurance job just ended up not working out. So I wasn't 100% sure where to go from there. My dad's always had this waterproofing company and it's just him that runs it. So I used to go to work with him when I was super little. And then when this all happened, I'm like, let's try it again, kind of full circle moment.
You had previous experience on it.
Yeah, exactly. And then through that, I had a lot of spare time. So I could kind of practice my art more, which I never really had the opportunity to do when I was focusing on my other career. And then, yeah, it just kind of spiraled into a little bit of a career in art, which like I'm just super grateful for because I didn't think it was possible.
Are there any moments and experiences from that life as an insurance salesman?
Yes, yeah,
salesperson?
Underwriter, yeah.
Yeah. And also from this construction waterproof company, are there any experiences from there that you apply to your art?
Definitely, yeah, the professionalism part of it. So,
yeah, I can imagine that.
That's helped with that for sure, with the whole emails and all of that kind of side of things, because this you can kind of get just swept away in and you're focusing on your own. So the insurance definitely helped me gain that knowledge on how to deal with the people more business side of it. So I'm grateful for that because it helped me a lot with this and creating a career with it.
Would you say that it was sort of an escape from art? Was an escape from that life?
I would say so, yeah. Art still kind of is my escape from everything. It's like at the end of the night, I'll turn the whole world's sleeping and I can just turn on my little lamp in my corner and escape to whatever world I'm painting.
Have there ever been any moments, any nights where you do that and then you realize that when you're finished, the sun's already rising?
Oh, almost every night, yeah.
Every night.
Especially when I get into a really big project then that I'm super passionate about and I'm very invested in. I'll look at the time and I'm like, oh my God, it's like 4 o'clock in the morning. Like I have to go to bed. But yeah, it's honestly, I love when I can get in that mindset though and just kind of get lost in it. Cause yeah, it is a good escape from everyday life.
I can imagine. Time flies and you get your peace and quiet during the night.
Yeah.
Everybody else is sleeping.
Yeah,
there you go.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't feel like I have to do a million other things.
Where can we find you when you're not behind the canvas, when you're not painting? Where can we find you?
Typically traveling, honestly. Like the only time that I really take time away from this is when I'm away from home.
Okay.
So yeah, and we do like to travel quite often, even little trips to BC and stuff as well. So that or spending time with my family, my dog, cat, and husband, like walking her, and we live in Mission. So
in that order of importance?
Exactly, yeah. Best for last.
Good save.
Yeah, great, thank you. But yeah, so we just spend a lot of time just outdoors and walking around like the amazing city that we live in. So yeah.
Taking some inspiration for sure.
Exactly, yeah.
Have you ever taken your art to different places where you traveled to?
Yeah, I actually did. When we went to Bali recently, there's a resort there called Potato Head. And we have a friend who does a lot of work there. So he's like, why don't we grab a canvas? And I actually painted live in Bali at this resort.
Oh, wow.
So that was probably the farthest away from home I've painted and the coolest experience that I've had outside of Calgary with my art. So that was a lot of fun.
What did the onlookers say? I imagine people were passing by and watching you paint.
They were, yeah, and that was very interesting. I actually still am in contact with some of the people that passed by and were talking to me. One's actually from Toronto, which was kind of cool. But yeah, so it was very interesting talking to them. I've actually met some other artists that were curious about what I was doing because they paint as well. So that was a lot of fun.
Because I've seen some of your art, and there's a certain like motif to it, you know. I picture neon colors, dark backgrounds, again, marine life.
Yeah.
And then drawing this mask would have been something new, right?
Yeah, it was definitely. I mean, it was funny because I was actually going to do more of my abstract style, and it just naturally kind of came out more of like the cartoon realism thing that I do. So yeah, it was different, but it was nice, and it kind of sparked interest in continuing on with that style and other projects.
Is that also the same plan for Japan? Are you planning to do some art in Japan?
I would love to if I have the opportunity to. We're going to be doing, like, it's going to be a fast-paced trip. So
okay.
I don't know if I'll have the time to do it, but I would love to if I could. I'm debating getting a little watercolor journal to bring with me as well.
What's that?
Like watercolors. So it's a lot easier to bring with you instead of all the acrylics. It's just,
For sure. I can't imagine the canvas going up on the plane.
Exactly. But yeah, and I plan to get very inspired there. Like Tokyo is absolutely beautiful, and it's a lot of the neon buildings, which I recently did a commission of.
You love neon.
I love neon. I love neon. So I think I'll get really inspired to do paintings of it once I get home and bring that home with me.
No, but I'm glad that you're traveling all around. What other places have you been to? What's the most significant place that stands out to you when somebody asks you, where have you been?
Oh, honestly, like Bali, I've been back 3 times. So that's always somewhere that really stands out to me. But we recently went to Italy in September, and that was probably the most inspired I've ever felt in my life when it came to my art. So that's something that really sticks out. I'm like aching to get back there. So yeah, I would say Italy probably. The art, even like in some of these small villages that we just stumbled upon, I went in some of the art galleries there, and it's so, we have a lot of Western art here, which is beautiful and it suits our landscapes. But when I was in Italy, it was the surrealism and the contemporary art that I've just never seen anything like it before. I was like in tears in some of the art galleries there.
But for now, it'll be Japan. And after Japan, do you have any other trips planned?
Well, we're planning to do, I said husband, but he's my fiance. So we're planning our wedding in 2017, which is going to be in Halifax.
2017?
Or sorry, 2027. Oh my God. And that's going to be in Halifax. So that'll probably take up a lot of our time. We want to elope before the actual or the party part. Mm-hmm. So we might go back to Italy for that. So
maybe.
That's like the goal. Yeah.
What made you guys choose Halifax?
He's from there. He's from Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
So we want to, I call it a pirate ship, but it's actually a tall ship is what it's called. So we want to do it on one of those.
Completely different landscape than here in Alberta.
Yeah. Ocean.
Ocean, but there you go. You get the ocean. You get you get the other side of the ocean over there.
Yeah.
The Atlantic.
So, exactly. So that'll be kind of fun. But I think that's kind of next on our list. And then, back to Bali probably again as well.
There was this art piece that really caught my attention while scrolling on your Instagram feed. And it was this diner sort of.
Oh, yes.
This retro diner that was taking place.
That was one of my favorite pieces that I think I've done. It was just super inspiring to me. His name's Llewellyn, and he actually is starting up a pizza shop. He's hoping to open up a shop in England.
Yeah, it was called Aerate?
Yes. Yeah. So that would be
like
his company name, I guess, for his pizza. He makes the most incredible deep dish pizza ever. But so he has hired me. That was actually my 3rd commission that I did for him. And it's really cool because he kind of plays off of the neon that I love and my techniques that I really like to use in my art. And he'll come up with his ideas and we kind of mesh together very well and collaborate in the commissions that he wants. So that was one of his that, he came to me with, and I'm like, oh my God, I love this idea.
I was wondering how you came up with the characters that fit inside the diner, because obviously to describe it is you've got the black background, the dark background, then the neon lights, a UFO over this diner. Then in the diner, you've got like an alien smoking on the outside, Mothman, Bigfoot, all of these critters.
The lizard man.
Yeah, the lizard guy.
Yeah.
How did that how did that all come to mind?
That honestly, again, was something that he, like, the Sasquatch has always been something that he wanted incorporated in the art. So he actually came to me with, like, some of the characters. And then I kind of just came up with them in my head a little bit. I obviously used some photos to kind of put together to reference for some of it. But yeah, he kind of gave me the muse, and then it just, like, my creativity was kind of sparked through that, and then kind of came up with the characters as I went.
Yeah, just kind of came along though.
Yeah, and that's why I really enjoy doing the commissions, because I would never, like, that's typically not something I would paint, like you said. Like, it's kind of something different for me. But I love that he can come to me with that idea, and it's a little bit of a challenge for me to get to try something new. And yeah, now I really want to do more of the neon buildings. I think it kind of inspired me for that.
Yeah, well, it's something I haven't seen in a painting format before. You don't really see it often.
Yeah.
All these sort of cryptid creatures showing up with big neon lights in the background.
So yeah, that's one. The one before that was actually, it was an old retro pizza car with his symbol on it. And then it was a spaceship that was kind of like sucking it up. Yeah. And then in the background, there's like a Sasquatch in the trees. So that was another one that was kind of like different with the characters, and
exactly,
so much
something
fun.
unique.
Yeah, so much fun.
So working with neon, working with dark backgrounds, how did you start with that? Was it always an idea that you had? Was it always some sort of style that called to you, or did it grow over time?
It kind of grew a little bit. It originally started, I did a piece for my dad, and it was, again, kind of more of like the cartoon or like surrealism style of downtown Universal. And it was during dusk, so everything was kind of the neon. And when I did that piece for him, I'm like, oh my God, I love this. Like, the neon's so much fun to play with, and it's kind of limitless as well. And then after doing that, I started doing my nostalgic neon pieces, which is where I use the cartoon characters. I mix it with the skulls and the neon through that. And yeah, it just, like, after doing that one piece, it just really sparked something in me, and it kind of just spiraled in my art career and became more of my staple.
Yeah, definitely. It's something that calls the attention, and the use of colors, because when you put them up against a black background, it's vibrant. It sort of brings it to life in a way.
It's
it
like
calls
the
attention.
contrast. Yeah,
exactly,
like
it's the contrast.
Yeah.
Contrast that really helps out a lot.
Yeah.
And the subjects that you use, aside from the pizza place and all that, there was also this other painting that called my attention, which was an astronaut, right?
Yes.
And I think it's got like a skull and a helmet. Yes.
Yeah, that was another really fun one. And that, it was actually a Neanderthal skull that was inside of it.
A Neanderthal skull.
Yeah. So
wow, that's specific.
Yeah, it was very specific, and it was kind of saying, call it painting neither first nor last, because it was supposed to say, like, there was such human intelligence even before us, and we think, like, we focus on us so much, but that's why it was kind of floating in space to say, like, they were there even before we were. So that was another commissioned piece that, again, I love when people come to me for something that is kind of like up my alley and my jam and my style, and then I can kind of bring their idea to life. So that was a really fun one.
That's great. That's great to hear it and see it. And it's sort of like your signature style too. Yeah, just paying attention to like all your paintings and all the detail. Like, it really shines through.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Because yeah, I never, like, with my art, I really like exploring different techniques and different styles. So I like to play with the abstract, with the realism, the surrealism. So I never really thought I had a style per se, which I thought kind of set me back as an artist, because a lot of people like following along an artist that has that specific style that they're drawn to. So thank you for saying that.
How did you start as an artist? How did this all begin?
Kind of always just been my passion. Like, as a kid, I hated math. I never was a really sporty person. So art was kind of just something that has always been my calling and my passion. And then, yeah, slowly I was lucky enough that it kind of became a career a little bit. So yeah, it's just always kind of been in my blood, I guess, or something that I love doing.
Did you have a mentor, maybe a family member who helped you out?
My parents have always been pretty artistic. Like I remember my dad when he was on work calls would like doodle and it'd be like this most beautiful like mountain view that he would just doodle on the phone. So I think it kind of is almost in my blood from them. And then yeah, outside of that, like my art teachers in high school were very motivating for me. And then yeah, other than that, it's kind of just been playing with it on my own, I guess. And yeah, meeting other artists in the city has also been very inspiring as well.
Yeah. We discussed with previous guests about how the art scene in Calgary has just grown and different people have been able to meet other people who share the same interests.
Yes.
And through that, collaborations grow, chances to create events happen, and overall, I think everybody wins.
Yeah, 100%.
Overall, everybody wins.
Yeah, and the city is like I'm so grateful because Calgary has opened so many doors just with local companies that want to support local artists. Like Cool Garden has been incredible, Una Pizza, even Element Cafe, or like I know the Nightlight Festival that just happened in Calgary. That was a really cool one as well. And it's all these local companies that really want to promote these local artists. So that's been very inspiring.
And like you mentioned, you know, meeting different people, getting that community, it helps you improve your art.
100%. I think like I've gained so many new people in my life that I just couldn't live without now. And it's all through art. And it's all through these, like even Cool Garden, when you have your art in there, they do the launch party. So you get to meet all the other artists that are on the wall and connect with them. And they're people that I talk with daily now that I never would have met if it wasn't for both of our art. So it's really cool.
So how did it work with Cool Garden? How was your art chosen?
It actually, Cool Garden was probably the number one thing I think in my art career that kind of like made me successful in it. I remember going in there for the first time and I saw the art wall and I was like, this is so cool. Like I couldn't imagine having my art on the wall. Like I'll just apply and just see. So I ended up applying and they accepted me. And then, yeah, that's kind of started everything. So I had my art on the wall there and then they accepted me into the Growler program as well.
Oh, wow.
And that was through the Octopus.
So walk me through the Growler program. How is it different than the art on the wall? In general, do you just send your art to them and they pick and choose who they want to showcase? Is that how it works?
They actually take, when you have your art up there, I believe it's like 8 other artists that you're up there with. So at the end of each art cycle, they select one of the artists to create a growler for them. So yeah, luckily, I was lucky enough to get selected for that. And they give you a template and you actually design the growler like specifically for that. So it was a completely new piece that I did.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was really cool. Tess, who is with Cool Garden, really helped me out because I'm not good with the digital at all. So she took my painting and actually made it digital for the growler itself.
That's great that they were able to help you.
Yes.
And put it on the growler. And for people who don't know, the growler is this big grog that they sell where you fill it up with beer.
Yeah, it's refillable, so that's really nice. Yeah.
How did that feel? That, if I'm not mistaken, that was one of your first showcases, right?
It was, yeah. And it's so intimidating, honestly, because when it's your passion first before your career, you don't know how people are going to respond to it. Art's so subjective. And then they have the growler launch party where it's one night where it's your growler. So people are coming there for you. And it's like, is anyone even going to show up? Like, it's like super nerve-wracking at first. But it gains your confidence so much. And it made me feel like art could actually be more of a career than just a passion as well.
So did they just contacted you after the art cycle that you've been chosen to design the next growler?
Exactly, yeah. So it felt pretty good, for sure.
I can't imagine the pressure that you were under.
Yeah, intimidating. That's
exactly. Especially since you have to design a brand new art piece just for the growler.
And then the options are kind of limitless. Like I went with the octopus because it was kind of like...
You love the ocean.
Yeah, I love it. But then you don't want to disappoint because you could do, like I was also thinking of doing dogs because Cool Garden is a dog-friendly like bar. So yeah, you just don't want to disappoint either when you're selected for something like this because I'm just so grateful for the opportunity. So I want to make sure I live up to what their expectations are.
Of course.
Yeah. But it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and look... I mean, it's led you to different places too. You've said that you've
Exactly.
met different artists and that you've met different clients as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's actually Llewellyn who does all the pizza commissions. He found my art originally in Coal Garden.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it's been amazing. And I do weddings as well. And even some of the clients that I do wedding, like my live art at weddings for, found me through Coal Garden. So
You do live art at weddings?
I do, yeah.
How does that work?
It's a lot of fun. I do portrait art.
Mm-hmm.
So as people come into the wedding, all the wedding guests, I'll take their Polaroid, and then throughout the night, I do quick sketches and watercolor portraits of them, and then I pin them on my board, and then all the guests throughout the night can come find their portraits or find their guests. So it's really entertaining for myself even to watch all the guests come and find their friends, and they can leave. It's their little thank you gift from the bride and groom, and yeah.
That's
The couples,
incredible. And you
yeah.
have you only have the whole night to do it.
Yes. So it is time consuming. Each portrait takes me about 5 to 10 minutes to do. So I try to get it done fast, but then you're also talking
The
to
guests have
people.
like 200 people.
Yes. So sometimes I do have to take the portraits back to my studio because I want to make sure each guest gets a drawing because it is a limited time, obviously. But so yeah, I'll finish all that and then I give them their wedding package after. I always include a mini painting for the couple as well, or a painted bottle. So I'll give them their wedding package after.
Nice. I
Yeah.
had never heard of that before.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah, it's like very entertaining for everyone at the wedding as well. So that's another thing that kind of made me feel like art could be a bit more of a career, because when you're in the wedding industry, that's like more of a business. But
And it's tangible, it's physical.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. There's a lot of weddings happening all the time.
So many other things art related aren't tangible, aren't physical.
Exactly.
It's a service that you do it for the event. It's
Yeah.
quick and it's almost immediate.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
entertainment along with art too. So it's kind of, goes hand in hand with that.
But that's efficient and that's great to hear. I honestly learned something new. I didn't know that was
amazing,
a real
yeah.
thing.
It's really fun, yeah. And I can do like the live paintings of the couple as well,
Mhm.
but the portraits are nice so everyone gets to go home with a little piece of art.
Yeah, and at the same time with live paintings, you gotta tell your subjects, hey, stay still. Right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Which isn't fun for anyone.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
sometimes. It depends on how patient the bride and groom are.
Yeah, very true. On their special day though, I don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How long do those live paintings usually take?
It depends. Like typically I have kind of a bit of an abstract style as well that I do. So those ones, the background doesn't take as long, but you get the time allocated during the wedding, and then I do take them home as well and just do like final touch-ups. So yeah.
I wanted to know about this light show that you were a part of earlier
Yes.
this year. I forget the name.
Nightlight.
Nightlight.
Yes.
But you designed different categories of animals and mythical creatures.
Yes.
And after that, I'm not sure if they approached you or you approached them and you were able to mix it together with some light effects
Yes.
to bring the paintings, to give it different colors.
Yeah, kind of that was honestly one of my favorite things I've ever had the opportunity to do in my career. So the Nightlight Festival is all through downtown Calgary. And it's a lot of, like, the light aspect was a bit intimidating for me because I've never done that before with my art.
Had you heard about it before?
I've heard of the Nightlight Festival. Never did I think I could be a part of it, though, with my art. And luckily, I came to them with the idea. I did the one dragon painting, and I just really liked the play with the color gradients. It played with your eyes already. So I thought if you did bring some light to it, it could even make that effect even more drastic. So I came to them with the proposal of the idea, and lucky for me, they approved it. And then, I did it with all the different colors, and then we set up the lights. So if you watch them, the effect kind of made it look like they were actually moving in the painting.
Yeah,
And then the color was
yeah.
changing. So it ended up I was very happy with the final effect that it had. But it was something very different for me, for sure. Mine was only such a small part of such a beautiful event. So I'll definitely be applying to that every year.
That's awesome. Yeah, I can't wait to see what you come up with
Oh,
next,
thank
how
you.
you improve on that, what new technique you decide to try out. Because I had never imagined a million years just mixing it with lighting.
See, and I never like I've had, because I've done the neon, I've played with some light before. I actually had some, he does neon signs. He's a local artist from Calgary. And he approached me and he actually created a neon sign based off of one of my paintings. And then I painted on the acrylic board that the neon was built on. So it was an actual neon painting, like a neon light that was a painting as well. So that was really cool. Because I work so much with that neon and like the contrast and the lighting, it's really fun to play, like bring that next level, I guess, to it.
How did you price yourself as a starting artist?
It's so hard. The pricing is the hardest part, honestly, because as an artist, I also, like, this is what I love to do and it's my passion. So still to this day, sometimes I'm like, I can't believe people are willing to pay me to create for them when this is something that I'm so passionate about and I love so much already, and they're drawn enough to it. So pricing was always super hard, and there's so many different structures that you can use where it's per like inch or you can't really go off of time because you spend so much time on a piece. Pricing is something I'm still, like, as I'm growing in my career, I'm still kind of navigating a little bit. But I do typically price almost per square inch now is kind of what I go off of.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair enough, because that also takes into account the different materials that will go into it.
Exactly. So yeah, it's kind of per square inch and then plus materials on top of that. But it is pricing something that's very hard because it's your confidence kind of has to be there to be able to figure that one out.
Yeah, to really, really see what you can add to it, and at the same time to know that your time is worth.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
It's like valuing yourself, I guess, kind of, because it's not something really like you can put a material price list on. It's more your experience and and then as you paint more, you get faster. So you can't really go off of time because that's your experience that you're then putting into it. So yeah, that's something that's been very hard to navigate.
And there's always that fear that you'll give people an invoice and then they'll just take one look at it and then walk away.
Exactly. That's the worst fear, is someone be like, oh, she thinks she's worth that?
Luckily now you've got the experience to back it up.
Yeah. And that's been nice too. Like, it's like a learning game. Like, you put your stuff out there and you see what kind of people are willing, or what, like, you have to navigate that, I guess, during each show or each exhibition that you hold.
Totally. Yeah. Totally being able to just know at what level you're at. And that your time is worth it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, your experience is worth it.
Yeah, so it's something, it takes time, I guess, to build.
How do you come to an agreement with the clients when it comes to commissions, when it comes to being on the same page about your vision? Yes. How does that process happen?
So I guess I do, like, I like to ask a good amount of questions. A lot of people come to me with kind of an idea. My biggest thing for that is I'll send them the original sketch. So they'll come to me with an idea. I'll sketch out a few proposals, send them that, see kind of what they like most. And then outside of that, I do the creating, and then I'm very open to constructive criticism. So when I give a client back a piece, I say, like, please let me know if there's a color you want changed, if there's an aspect of this that you had a different idea in mind or you want something different. I just really, that's my biggest thing, is please tell me after the fact if you do want me to make changes so that you're 100% happy with that piece when you receive it.
That's awesome. And it's also a learning curve that people don't talk about much, knowing how to communicate with people and knowing how to have that relationship with the client.
Exactly.
Like, how are you going to come to an agreement on something that you're only envisioning in each other's head at the moment?
And that's what's hard, is because they can come to me with an idea, but once you put it on paper, they could have a completely different image in their mind than what I have in mine. And I guess it's kind of trusting yourself, and then even being comfortable enough throughout the process. Like, if I come to a point where I'm like, ooh, I don't know if this is what they're thinking or this, reach out again and be like, okay, moving forward, like, is this kind of the way you want to go? And I'll always tell them, is this what you were thinking, or did you have a completely different vision in your head, and we can turn it around and do something completely different as well.
So sort of like checking in with the client along the process and keeping that communication going.
Yes.
Making it ongoing communication.
Exactly. Ongoing communication, taking that after the fact if they want anything different. And then also just initially asking, enough questions and getting all the details as much as they can in their mind, and sending them that initial sketch I find always helps, because I can send them that and say, what do you like? What don't you like? And then that's kind of my main thing, to be like, okay, this is the direction that we need to be on, because we're meeting in the middle.
Exactly. It's always about, putting your own spin on it, but not disregarding their opinion as well.
Exactly.
And then from their perspective is getting what they want, which is your style, but also not hammering it so much where it's not noticeable anymore, or it can't happen anymore.
Yeah, and still getting their vision that they want to come to life.
Interesting. Yeah. It's always a matter of communicating and knowing how to talk to people.
Exactly.
Knowing how to listen. More so listen than talking.
100%, yes. That's the main thing.
Are there any commissions that come to mind that have challenged you? Are there any commissions that have been interesting to draw?
Yeah, well, I used to, when I first started, I was very hyper-realism. Like I would look at a photo and I'd copy it like hair for hair kind of on the canvas.
Okay.
And then I moved away from that a little bit.
Just lost the patience for it?
Well, I got a little bit more of my creative side, I think, out, so I could actually come up with things instead of copying a picture. I'm like, ooh, like this idea came to my head. I want to create that instead of just kind of copying a picture. But going back to that, I got a commission, and it was, I think, 4 foot by 3 foot or even bigger of a bear. So it was a massive painting of a bear, and they wanted that realism style. So that was a bit of a challenge getting back into it, but it was also extremely inspirational, and it kind of reminded me like you can do that side of art as well. And that was, I think, a big turning point as well in my career, was doing that big commission.
Yeah. I can't imagine a huge bear, making it so realistic, photorealistic, and then putting it up on such a huge scale as well.
Yeah, and it took a lot of time. Like a lot of my art, I can do it a little bit more fast-paced now, and that one I had to really sit with for a long time. It was like a month of just working on that big canvas, and it was challenging and also very rewarding. And I want to use that a little bit more even again moving forward.
What was the reaction of the person who commissioned you when they got the bear?
Seemed very happy. I always worry, like when I deliver a commission, even if the client seems happy, I go home and I'm like, oh my God, did they actually like it? Like I get so nervous.
I heard that you need to take some time to let the art settle in.
100%.
And that's when you really get the results about whether you like it or don't like it.
That's really funny that you say that, because I find the same. I'm a night painter. So a lot of times, like I said, I'm up till 3 a.m. painting, and I'll go to bed half asleep already, kind of, and I'll wake up the next morning, and it's kind of like I get to see the painting for the first time every morning almost. And same thing, a lot of my art I do for a specific exhibit or a commission. So as soon as I complete it, it's gone.
It's out of there.
Yeah, so even picking these up today, I can kind of sit back and I'm like, oh my God, like I kind of actually like that more than I remember.
Yeah, because when you're doing it, you're in there for hours looking at the same picture again and again and again. Sometimes it can be frustrating.
Totally.
And when you're doing it, you don't really appreciate the change that you put into it.
Yeah,
it's only
so
at
cool
the
that
looking
you, like,
back.
Know of that too, because it's definitely something that is a struggle, and also a fun part of it is you're so focused on something for so long that you don't take a step back and be like, oh wait, this is like kind of coming together. And it is like, I guess that's part of the fun of it though, is just getting so lost in it. But yeah, it is good to take steps back and take those breaks, because sometimes you can get just too involved, where it's like you'll paint the same thing 20 times over because you're just,
That happens mostly with colors.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Not so much with the shades, but sometimes when you stare at very, very similar colors from time to time, you'll begin seeing them as one.
Yes.
They'll begin blending in together. So that's the problem.
Yeah.
That's tough, especially when you're painting, because You gotta separate them.
Yeah, exactly. So it is like it's all a learning game, but that's part of the fun of it all is like navigating all of those things.
Exactly, and being able to overcome them.
Yeah, exactly. And then that makes you love the piece even more because you did have to go through the struggle. Kind of like life in general, if you have to go through some of those struggles when you come out of them and you can breathe again, it's kind of like, oh, like makes
You're
you
not scared of
appreciate
it
that much
anymore.
more. Yeah,
You're not scared of it
exactly.
anymore. Oh, that's great. Yeah, that's a good perspective on it.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, I saw that you had this picture of a peacock
Yes.
on your Instagram page. Very, very photorealistic. How did that come about?
That was one of the first paintings that I did getting back into art, actually. Because
You took a break?
I did kind of. When I got into insurance, it went on the back burner a little bit. It like I kind of lost it for a few years. And then, yeah, it wasn't until like my insurance career kind of ended that I had time to revisit it and the passion kind of came back. And that was one of the first ones that I actually did for that. I was in Fernie and we were walking down the road and there was just this peacock in the middle of the road. We're like, what is it? Yeah, we're like, what is it doing?
Just out in the wilderness?
And yeah, it was so this lady said that it had just visited them and it stuck around their house. So I don't really know how it got there, but it ended up being this lady's pet. And then after seeing it, I'm like, I want to paint one of these.
That's crazy, in the middle of the road.
Yeah, it was just hanging out in her yard. I was kind of blown away and it was really cool because it had its feathers in. And then she called it up and it went up on the deck and it turned. And as it turned, it opened its feathers. And I was just like, this is one of the coolest experiences I've ever had.
All the different patterns
that
it has.
Yeah, so taking a photo of that, I was like, yeah. Then I went home and I'm like, I just felt very inspired.
Did you send it to the peacock owner?
I didn't, unfortunately.
You didn't?
I didn't never contact after that. But you're right, I should go revisit it.
How long ago was this?
Oh my goodness, it must have been like 6 years ago, probably 7 years ago.
Okay, the peacock might still be alive.
Yeah, honestly. I should make her a print of it.
You gotta, that's her peacock right there.
That's really funny. I never even thought of that, but I should go back.
I wanted to ask, when it came down to the patterns, how'd you get them so accurately?
Time. It took a lot of time on that one, honestly, because, and I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so I'll zoom in and I like copy, each feather.
Like you take a looking glass and
yeah,
just go
exactly.
into it, or what?
Yeah, and I usually just use my phone, so it has a really good zoom.
Ah, okay.
But yeah,
no need for magnifying
yeah,
glass.
exactly. That would be the funner way to do it, though.
Old timey.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Go back to our roots.
But that's, again, a lot of dedication, a lot of patience with yourself.
Yeah, that
Because
one.
you're taking this animal that's just filled with patterns. The entire animal is patterns.
Yes.
And you're putting it to a canvas. And it's got so many intricate different designs, natural designs, and really to bring it to life, along with the colors, especially the colors. I think it's great.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it really called to me.
I really appreciate that. That was probably, again, one of like my more favorite pieces that I did, but it did take a long time to get each of those feathers. And then I really wanted to give it the depth as well. So the feathers looked kind of behind and the
of
forward.
course.
So yeah, but I appreciate you saying that.
Sort of have like that shift in focus as well.
Exactly.
How did you achieve that when you're painting?
It is just a lot of, again, like contrast and like the depth of it, a lot of colors. So even when you're doing like a mountain scene, it's like, and it's kind of funny because with mountains, I always thought the further back, the darker it would be, but it's kind of lighter and then to darker. So yeah. So it's kind of just learning that and playing with it. And that's the fun of it, is just playing around with all the colors and seeing what works.
When did this transition begin from your work in insurance to work in construction to painting? About 6 years ago, 7 years ago?
I would say, about 6, 7 years ago. But I've only been doing art, like I would say art full time for about, like I think it was 2023 that I really started. So it's only been a few years, but because Calgary is so like wanting their local artists to succeed, it kind of just, it's gone pretty fast. But so in 3 years, I felt like it's been like 10 years.
How were you able to take that leap? What made you take that leap, and how did you examine it, I guess? What did you take into account when making that decision?
Well, I guess a lot. Like, it did help having my construction job because it's so seasonal.
Right.
It gave me so much time to be able to explore this. And then it kind of just fell into place, to be honest. Like, I never thought that it could be something. And then one day my partner was like, just put it on Instagram, like start a social account, put it out there and see what happens. And then since doing that and just really applying. So it was super nerve-wracking applying to all these things because you can get shut down or you could get no's. And then it's like, oh my God, I'm like, I can't paint, I'm not talented. So to be able to just put yourself out there to everything. And then when some things stick, it's just super motivational. And then kind of building on that, I guess. So Una accepting me, Cold Garden accepting me, those were the things that kind of really pushed me to be like, oh my God, like I can actually maybe succeed in this and think of it as more of a career than just a passion.
Getting over that fear of rejection is one of the first steps.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. And I still get no's. Like I'm still applying to galleries and there's 100 other people that apply and like there's some incredible artists out there, so you just can't let those no's stop you from like continuing to apply and trying, I guess.
I wanted to talk about that painting you've got behind you.
Yes.
What is it?
So this is Cinque Terre in Italy, and yeah, all of the buildings, I was actually standing watching the sun go down over this view, and it was so cool, and I just felt so involved with everyone and so connected to everyone because as the sun's going down, you get to see all the little lights start coming on and all and these little like houses that are built into the rocks. And I actually started crying. I'm like, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And so it's just that moment really stuck with me. And before I went to Italy, navigating the art career is kind of hard because you are taking your passion and turning it into a career. So you lose a little bit of that freedom with it, I guess, and there's a little bit more pressure. And I really felt that going into this trip and a little bit unmotivated. And then I went on this trip and all of the beautiful scenes, it just brought me back to life kind of and was so inspiring. So this is part of an 8 painting series where I did kind of all paintings that were based off of really special moments on that trip. And this was one of those.
And then the rest of the 7 are up in Edmonton.
They're
or
all
you just
home
brought them
now.
back. Yeah,
I just brought them all back, which is cool because I get to revisit them and they're all kind of going their separate ways to like different galleries and stuff that I'm currently
that's
in.
Cool.
So yeah, are
they in chronological order?
No, they're all kind of random. So yeah, like this one, and then I also did I was walking through a castle. And it's called the Castle Guard because they had this big lion sculpture and it was the Castle Guard is what the lion sculpture was meant to be. So I did a massive one of those and they're all a little bit different, but just little pieces from that trip that really stood out.
Of course. Yeah, that made an impact and that you're really motivated to put it down on a canvas.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like this is a work of art in itself, so let me put it on a canvas, I guess, because just the view in itself was to me like it was art and just magical.
What made you make the background similar to the sky? Like here's the ocean, here's the sky, but it's the same color.
Yeah.
What's the idea behind that?
Kind of a reflection. I wanted this to be the main focus. And in the other pieces from the series, it's very similar. So one's of it was a restaurant, and in Italian or in English it's the rabbit, and obviously there's an Italian word for that I don't know how to properly pronounce.
Conejo in Spanish.
Yeah,
I don't know about Italian though.
We'll call it that.
Sure.
But yeah, so it's kind of the same thing where it was a big red car and then kind of the same style building where it's a little bit exaggerated and it's just on this blue background. And it was kind of to just put the focus on this instead of everything else going on around it. And I did the same thing almost in all the pieces in the series. So that kind of made everything coexist together as well.
Yeah, awesome. Definitely, you know how to draw the viewer's attention to detail.
Oh,
because you can even see here, it's not stylized, the trees or anything, but really what you put the most detail into are the houses.
Yes, exactly.
And they're also perfectly shaped.
Oh, thank you.
And it feels like you really were conscious about what the colors were.
Yes, and that, because like you said, when you brought up the colors and how every building's a different color, it's something that's so unique to here, and we don't get that in Calgary. Like, we don't see buildings like this or houses that are structured like this. And it was such a sense of community to me because they're all attached.
Right.
They're all like built into these rocks. So yeah, that's what I really wanted to bring to life in this painting. So I appreciate you noticing that.
If you want, we can put it back.
Yeah, definitely.
I had a question. You know, you've had a lot of experience in different fields. To you, what does it mean to succeed?
Happiness, to be honest. I find that like no one really has answers to life. We all have an idea, but success to me is just living every day and not always happy, but like going through the motions and just being a good, like doing good in the world, I think is very like a sign of success. And then, yeah, just enjoying your day to day and making the most out of the little time that we have here.
Yeah, for sure. And I think you make the most of it, really, when you're painting, when you're putting in the effort, and you're telling me that time just flies by, that hours go by, and you don't even notice it.
Yeah.
You don't even notice it when it happens. Suddenly, it's 4 a.m. You need to go to sleep because you got to rise up early.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, I can see it happening.
And even like where I'm at, I know I have a long way to go and a lot that I want to accomplish, but I already feel successful even being here with you and like meeting the people that I have. Like, I feel like I've had success just in the company I keep.
I'm always interested by this following question that I've started asking painters. If the city of Calgary knocked on your door and then told you, Rylee, we've got this budget to paint a mural.
Yeah.
What type of mural would you paint, and where in the city would you paint it?
This probably won't surprise you, but I would love to do, I've actually thought of like the Bump Festival, which is the big mural festival that they do in Calgary. And I always thought that it'd be really cool to find a really tall building and to do a jellyfish, but going like wrapping around the building and kind of going down the whole building. I thought that would be a really cool effect, I guess, because you could almost make it look 3D as if it's like moving up the building. Yeah. So I've always wanted to do a giant jellyfish. I just thought that would be like a cool, effect.
Makes sense. One last question before I let you go, and this is one that I like to ask all of the guests who come through here. If you had one word to describe yourself, which one would it be?
Well, it's hard. I think I would say passionate. And that's just because I put, like, when I invest myself in something, I put my all in. Like, I'm so passionate about my love for my friends and family. I'm so passionate about my art. So I think that would maybe be the one word to describe me, just because I do, everything I do, I like to put both feet full in, and yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. And, you express it very well through your paintings and through your artwork.
Thank you.
And I can't wait to see what you do next.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate you having me. This was like such a cool experience.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, it was a great interview. And it flew by,
yeah,
honestly.
I know. I agree. Well, thank you.
Rylee, thank you for being here. It was great having you on the show. It was great showcasing your artwork and getting behind the story of where everything comes from.
Thank you so much. You've been amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, and that wraps up another episode of StoryHive On Location Calgary. If you've got a story and want to be featured, don't forget to scan the QR code and apply to be a guest on our show. Stay tuned. See you next time.